who like, well, this is too much, or this is not enough, or I was looking for this, and, you know, so you do go through those.
Ah, gotcha. So you meet every customer at their need. You don't just do a one-size-fits-all and say, hey, you need a slab of makeup on your face, and either you take the slab of makeup or you don't get me at all. You actually, how do you do so well at relating to your different customers?
Well, everything is custom when it comes to makeup. There is no one cookie-cut way to do it. Absolutely not. It's just like when you get your hair done, every woman has a different texture of hair, a different type of hair, and you may have to treat it just a little bit different. So when it comes to makeup, those are the things that you have to go for. The concepts remain the same, and that doesn't change, but it's just the look. So versus the colors that I use, if they want a little bit more highlight here or there, and that's kind of pretty much the basis of it and how comfortable they are with wearing makeup. Because just because they come to me does not mean, you know, they absolutely love blush. They may say, hey, I like a clean face, no blush or anything like that. So what helps me is I talk to them. Any of my brides that come to me, we sit down, we have a consultation, and we have a conversation. I don't like to do question and answer with them. I kind of like to get to know them, kind of feel them out, and then I want to make them comfortable as possible so we can talk about the look that they want. Sometimes people always come in and they say, hey, you know, they'll tell you what they want, but they're afraid to say, I don't like this. At the end of my consultation, when I show them their face, I always ask, are you comfortable with this look, and do you like it? And I tell them, I say, be honest. These are literally the words I say. I say, be honest, because you have to walk around with this face on. And that's when they're like, okay, I can be honest. I don't like this. Can I get a little bit more of that? And sometimes they say, hey, I absolutely love it. You know, so I always keep it real with them, and they keep it real back with me, you know, because at the end I always say, hey, you know, I want you to be honest with me. And I tell them, you're not going to hurt my feelings. And I think sometimes they think they may insult you by saying, I don't like this. But I tell them, hey, you're not going to hurt my feelings because this is your face. You're paying for a service from me. So that's pretty much how I go and kind of understand what direction they want to go with. I also tell them to bring pictures. So that way it's, you know, it's a clear-cut way of what you want. We don't have to kind of guess about it.
That's cool because in that statement, you basically said you take immediate feedback from the customer and you make sure that you customize your service to that customer. And I'm guessing, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Yolanda, I'm guessing that some of those women who wouldn't have told you what was wrong unless you had asked them, I'm guessing they wouldn't have come back and paid more money again. Am I close?
You're correct. Because, you know what, some makeup artists, they think their way is the right way. And the right way is really the customer's way. Now, sometimes you have to let a customer know, hey, I have to do, say, for instance, when I'm doing foundation, ma'am, I have to apply, you know, concealer to kind of even out your skin tone before I apply the foundation. And sometimes you have to help them understand concepts behind makeup, and so they can get the bigger picture because they're like, you know, I don't want too much in my face, but you have to explain to them, I'm doing this for this purpose, and sometimes you have to break it down. And at the end result, if they trust you and allow you to go, you know, along with it till you finish it, then they'll say, okay, I understand, and they're okay with it. They'll absolutely love it. So it's not, you know, I rarely run into that at all, to be honest with you. I rarely do.
Awesome.
I guess because I try to make them comfortable and just kind of talk to me and tell me what you're looking for and what you want done.
Yolanda, I know that your business, ID Beauty, is based in Atlanta, Georgia, but just in case anybody wants to get in contact with you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Well, they definitely are. My name is Yolanda Gayle, and that's Gayle, and that is on Facebook and Instagram. You can also check out my website at www.idbeauty, and that is spelled IDBEAUTI.com. So it's beauty without the Y. You just add an I to it. I'm also on Twitter as ID Beauty as well. So pretty much if you go to my website, you can find links to all my social networks. Right now we're in the process of revamping my website and expanding the brand, so I will have more things out there. And one of the main things that I'm going to bring back is when I was doing the makeup bar, I'm going to bring back cosmetics. I'm just going to have to set it up online now. So that is something that everybody can look forward to. So the products that I use on my customers, you will be able to purchase them as well because I am a reseller as well for a cosmetic line called Lolita Professional Cosmetics.
Yolanda Gayle, IDBeauty.com. That's IDBEAUTI.com. Did I get it right?
Yeah, you got it right.
Yolanda, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. A wonderful young lady, Yolanda Gayle, and I'm looking at the phone calls and the way they are just exploding right now for all of you listening to the show. Definitely, if you like this interview segment with Yolanda Gayle, log on to the Homba Biz website and share it with a friend. I really believe she's an awesome young lady. That's hombabiz.com, HOMBABIZ.com, and click the on-air link. Up next, Lindsay Wheeler, owner of an entirely college-run, student-run ice cream truck business. She pays the college bills with her business. Back in a minute.
Homba Biz Radio.
Here's the deal. Let's drop a couple of ideas that people can take right away.
The best broadcast for the home-based business owner.
Some think that just having a website on the internet is enough to bring attention to your business.
Homba Biz is short for home-based business.
Women not leaning in or sitting at the table, they're not even walking in the room.
Like us on Facebook.
The number of people who can help you have a really significant impact in terms of your business, your wealth creation, is a lot smaller than we think it is.
Visit hombabiz.com and click the like button at the bottom right.
And then once I realized how much time I was actually investing in other people, I said, okay, something has got to give.
Homba Biz Radio.
Absolutely, and then you guys don't look good.
The best broadcast for the home-based business owner.
Eugene Rowe, your host of the Homba Biz Radio Show, the best broadcast for the home-based business owner. HombaBiz.com as we continue. College Creamery is an entirely college student-run ice cream truck business. Lindsay Wheeler is here to talk to us about what they do in business and who they help in business. Lindsay, thanks for taking your time. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Now, tell us, what is College Creamery real quick?
College Creamery is an all-college student-run business, an ice cream truck that we run in Fairfield County in Connecticut, and it's great. We just spend our summers on the truck doing private parties and corporate events, all kinds of different events in the local area.
Wow. So you said you spend your summers on the truck. So is it just a summer business, or is it during the school year business? How does that work?
It's just a summer business as of now. We're not really sure what we're going to end up doing in the future, but we do have pretty extended summers. So we spend about 4 months of the year running the business, and sometimes we come home from school for special events.
First of all, how many people are helping you with the ice cream truck business?
Currently it's owned by just 2 of us, but we have a lot of different friends who help us out and work for us during the summer.
Gotcha. So is everybody at the same school, or do you have to coordinate different university schedules?
No. 2 of us go to school in Vermont. 2 of the people who help primarily. One of us is at Middlebury College and the other at UVM. And then my partner who owns the business with me goes to Bucknell in Pennsylvania. And then I have one other friend who is a very big part of the business who is currently working up in Ithaca, New York, and she comes down also sometimes.
Wow. Now, tell me, where did the idea come from? Because not many college students are trying to do anything but necessarily just get a job. So where did the idea come from?
Well, it was actually kind of just a random idea that we had during our freshman years. A lot of our friends were talking about getting internships, and people were really stressing out about what to do that would end up looking good on our resume. And we were kind of just thinking that we could do something a little bit different or more unique that would be a lot of fun. And we came up with the idea, and we really didn't know if it would turn into anything, and it ended up being just so much more amazing than we could have anticipated.
Well, I had a chance to visit your website and had a chance to read about your story. And in the news very recently, it's a big deal about college tuitions rising 15, 20, 30% per year. But you guys do something interesting with the profits. Tell us a little bit about that.
Because of the startup costs, we've had to pay a lot of things back. But at this point, we're turning a good profit, and we put it towards some of our college expenses. Of course, we can't pay fully for free tuition, but we put it towards expenses, and then we also give some back to the local community and education foundations in our local area, because obviously we think that education is incredibly important, and so it's part of our mission.
That's great. So you just said something that I want to kind of stay on. You put some of the profits toward your college educations. How does that feel when you know most of your classmates have to have huge student loans, and here you have a chance to be able to pay off your college even with your own business?
It's definitely a great feeling to be able to make our own money and put it towards something that's as important as our own education. And it's also just nice to have a little bit of money that we know we've made ourselves to use towards things like books and other necessities at school that are just like absurdly expensive, really. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how much things can add up at school. So it's great to have that.
So do any of your classmates come to you for financial advice or asking you for, jobs or incomes and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, as our name has gotten out and people have learned about us, we definitely had a lot of people, even people just around the country that we don't know, contact us to ask us about the business and possibly how they can start something similar or just other ideas for them. And that's been like the coolest thing, just that we have inspired other people to do similar things.
So during your startup adventure, what's the biggest thing you've learned, you and your partners? What's the biggest thing you've learned so far?
I would say that when we first started, we were pretty doubtful that this would actually end up resulting in anything cool. So I think just knowing that something like this, something that's just kind of a small idea, can really turn into something big is important. And trusting that taking that risk can actually end up benefiting you in the end. But also we've learned a lot of things about finances, taxes, things like that, which are going to be invaluable, I think, in our futures that we probably wouldn't have been able to learn from just doing some kind of an internship. So that's been really, really great.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing, because it's so hard, especially now with the quote unquote youth unemployment rate at 20-25%. Do you guys plan on continuing the business full time after you get out of college, or is this pretty much right? Is this just going to be like a in college summer business thing?
Well, we're about to be starting our senior years, and we're actually looking to sell the truck, I believe, at the end of the summer. We're not entirely sure how it's going to play out yet. But with the knowledge that we've learned, we really would like to possibly either continue in something similar. We may franchise. I'm not entirely sure yet. And if not with College Creamery, maybe opening something else, a restaurant or some kind of a store. I'm not entirely sure yet, but we've loved it so much, so it's hard to just let it go like that. Gotcha.
Now, for the aspiring entrepreneur who's thinking about something in their dorm right now, one final piece of advice that you may give to them upon their startup journey.
I would say when you're thinking about what you want to do in the future, definitely follow something that you're passionate about, because I've worked in retail and I've done all kinds of jobs, and this has just been something that's been an incredible experience and definitely the most successful of anything that I've done, just because I'm so passionate about it, and it's just great to get up in the morning and do it. So that's definitely very important.
Awesome. Well, Lindsay, I appreciate your time. Lindsay Wheeler with the College Creamery in Connecticut, Wilton, Connecticut, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, we wish you much success. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Make sure you tune in next week as we talk to Fleetwood Hicks, owner of Billy Customs. You may remember him from a swim on ABC's Shark Tank. We'll talk to him about his experience on the tank before, during, and after the show. So listen in for any key, you can actually listen in that day for any key things that any pitch for investment funds should contain. Eugene Rose signing off. See you next Monday, Home of Biz Radio Show.